rocky and unfaithful 6-year marriage. Michael said he caught his wife in bed naked with another man.
I fear for my life.
And as a result, you did what?
When I fear for my life, I just.
It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm back with another episode of Hood Tales. In this video, let's take it to Edwards, Mississippi, just outside of Jackson, to discuss the story of Ebony and Michael Owens, love, betrayal, and a marriage gone wrong. But before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss any future uploads. Stay tuned until the end of the video to hear the full story. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. Marriage is often described as a union built on love, commitment, and endurance. But for many couples, it's also a space where the pressure of daily life, emotional wounds, and unspoken resentment can slowly begin to pile up. What starts as a dream partnership can over time unravel in ways no one would ever expect. When communication fades and resentment grows, that bond can begin to fracture, sometimes leading to choices that can never be undone. This is the story of Ebony and Michael Owens, a Mississippi couple whose love began with promise but ended in tragedy. Ebony Owens was 36 years old, a mother of 4, a hardworking woman, and someone her family described as dedicated, caring, and full of light. She was the kind of person who showed up for her kids, her job, and her loved ones. Her husband, Michael Owens, was a 36-year-old man from the same small Mississippi town. To the outside world, they looked like any other married couple, raising their children and trying to make life work. Michael had been described as quiet, a working man who mostly kept to himself. He and Ebony had been together for years. They met back in 2010 and eventually married. Over time, they built a life, a home, and a family. But like many marriages, things weren't always easy. Friends would later reveal that Ebony had been unhappy for some time and that their relationship had grown strained. And as the years went by, the weight of the strained marriage seemed to reach its breaking point. When Ebony didn't appear for work on Wednesday morning in March of 2023, everyone who knew her immediately sensed something was wrong. That wasn't like her. Calls went unanswered, hours passed, then concern turned into panic. Ebony's family immediately reported her missing. Later that same day, on March 15th, deputies in Hinds County made a chilling discovery. A burned 2015 white Acura TXL, Ebony's vehicle, abandoned along Old Highway 80 near Jones Road. The license plate had been found discarded in nearby woods. There was no sign of Ebony. Authorities began to suspect foul play. The next morning, the discovery of her burned car set off a multi-agent investigation. Authorities immediately identified Michael Owens as someone they needed to question. When investigators finally located Ebony's husband, his story changed several times. At first, he claimed he didn't know where his wife was, but eventually, electronic evidence and witness statements pointed investigators toward a grim truth. This was no disappearance. Something far more serious had taken place. Search teams from multiple counties began combing through the Big Black River, a murky stretch of water that cuts across Hinds and Warren County. Boats, divers, and sonar equipment scoured the area for days. Then, on March 25, 2023, the search came to an end. A body pulled from the Big Black River was confirmed to be Ebony Owens. Following the discovery, investigators revealed that Ebony had suffered a gunshot wound. They also believed her car had been intentionally set on fire to destroy evidence. Her husband, Michael Owens, was taken into custody and charged with slaying his wife, third-degree arson, and investigators uncovered additional allegations, including one unrelated charge involving inappropriate actions with a minor. According to reports, Michael was once accused of initiating a relationship with the daughter of a woman he once dated, but the charges were initially dropped after the girl chose not to testify. According to investigators, Michael admitted that he and his wife had been arguing the night she vanished, an argument that spiraled out of control. He later confessed to pulling the trigger, striking her in the back of the head, wrapping her body in a blanket, placing her in his car, and driving to a bridge along the Big Black River, where he disposed of her body. Samples taken from red stains found on the bridge matched Ebony's DNA. In his statement to investigators, Michael claimed he snapped after discovering Ebony in bed with another man. He said he reached for his weapon after Ebony allegedly reached for hers, and in the heat of the moment, he fired. He told investigators that he panicked, saying, "When I shot her, I said, 'Baby, don't go, don't leave me, don't go.'" Michael said he wanted to take her to the hospital, but fear took over. "I couldn't tell people what I did," he said, so instead, he drove to the river and let the current take her away. As the investigation continued, authorities uncovered inconsistencies in Michael's story. Investigators found red-stained blankets, discarded documents, and bank statements near Highway 80, all evidence connecting Michael to the scene. Prosecutors also revealed there was no evidence of any other man in the home that night, contradicting Michael's claims. In October 2025, more than 2 years after Ebony's disappearance, Michael Owens stood trial in Hinds County. Prosecutors presented a powerful case, showing his confession, physical evidence, and inconsistencies in his statements. Jurors also viewed a 4-hour video of Michael's interview with investigators, where he initially denied involvement before eventually admitting what happened. According to prosecutors, Michael was dishonest more than 49 times throughout his interview with investigators.
Listen to you deny everything. You do admit you lied on the video, right?
Yes.
Despite the substantial evidence against him, Michael chose to take the stand. When Michael took the stand, he spoke through tears. He admitted to firing the weapon, saying he acted in the heat of the moment. He also spoke about his marriage, describing the struggles and the emotional strain the couple faced over the years. "A marriage is not easy. A marriage is what you make of it. A marriage is a job," Michael told the court. "We had our ups and downs, our differences." He described how he met Ebony in 2010 and said that things were good in the beginning, but over time, they both changed. "She made me snap," he said, claiming their argument spiraled out of control that night. "I was so mad, I just fired at her. I regret it every day."
I lost everything. I lost my wife. I lost my kids. I lost my home. I lost my job. I think about it every day. I think about.
His defense argued that the act was not planned, that it was a crime of passion fueled by jealousy and pain. But prosecutors reminded jurors that after the shooting, Michael burned her car, hid evidence, and disposed of her body in the river. They said those were not the actions of a man who simply snapped, but of someone trying to cover up what he had done. After days of testimony and just 1 hour of deliberation, the jury reached its decision. Michael Owens was found guilty of first-degree hit and third-degree arson. Before sentencing, he addressed the court and apologized.
I just want to apologize to my family, apologize to her family. That I'm totally sorry. All these happened.
But Ebony's mother wasn't convinced. She said, "Some apologies you just look at and think, why weren't you thinking about that before? Why?" He had enough time to stop himself. The judge was equally firm. Before handing down the sentence, she said, "What I heard today was as narcissistic, mean, and devious as anything I've ever heard done to someone." Michael Owens was sentenced to life in prison for the taking of his wife's life and 3 additional years for arson. This case is heartbreaking on every level. A family shattered, 4 children left without their mother and without their father too. May Ebony Owens continue to rest in peace. She was a mother, daughter, sister, and friend, a woman who had her whole life ahead of her. I send her family my deepest condolences and my well wishes. Her story is a tragic reminder that anger, jealousy, and control can destroy everything in an instant. At its core, this case isn't just about one family's tragedy. It's about what happens when love turns toxic and when pride instead of peace takes control. Michael Owens' story is one of anger, control, regret, and the struggle of dealing with one's own demons. A cautionary tale about what happens when emotion turns to rage and love becomes possession. It reminds us that no matter how broken a relationship becomes or how hard marriage is, taking a life should never be the solution. Because once that line is crossed, there's no going back. The commitment of marriage and having a family isn't for everyone. Don't let your emotions, societal pressures, and people's expectations influence your decisions in life. It may cost you your peace, your freedom, and even your life if you're not careful. Fam, I'm going to leave the rest up to you. What are your thoughts on this tragic story? Let me know in the comments below. Alright fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, consider liking and sharing. Subscribe for more stories like this and for the stories behind the headlines, because behind them all are lives forever changed. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times. Until next time.